at the Senior Center. We wanted to ask him what he thinks he can bring to Roosevelt Island that we haven't had before.
Yeah, absolutely. So, first off, let me just say that I'm running for Congress here because elections ought to be about the future, right? They're about what we're bringing to the table going forward, how we leave this world for our kids. And so I'm not going to talk about what I've done, what I've done in the past. It is about what can we do now to make Roosevelt Island better. And, you know, I think that the lack of transit options on this island is a real crisis. We have absorbed a lot of development here, a lot of new homes, and that's fine, that's great. You know, there's nothing wrong with having people, but the question is, we can't rely on a single F train that never runs on time, and a train that's under repair. There's only one road bridge across to the Queens side, and so, you know, Roosevelt Islanders really, of all people, have the worst sort of transit option to, you know, you can't really even taxi or Uber at an affordable price if you want to get to Manhattan because you have to go around. So I'm a proponent of more bus service on the island and off the island. Obviously a longer term vision would include more transit options altogether. I know there's a ferry, but your MetroCard doesn't work on it, right? And I think that the integration of that, making this easier, is something that's really important.
Anything else you'd like to add before you go back to the campaign?
No, I mean, look, I think that it's really important for your congressperson to actually be of the people, to represent the people that they're representing, not to be out of touch, to show up. I've been coming to Roosevelt Island, and the needs in Roosevelt Islanders should be put ahead of everybody else when it comes to permitting and festivals and all that. But I have been coming to this island for my entire time living in New York City. I've played sports on these fields. Like a lot of people, we play sports on these fields. So it's a really important part of the district, and I look forward to continuing to represent it.
Thank you.
Just how do you think you as a congressperson can help in those issues regarding transportation and affordable housing?
Funding, right? Especially funding. You would be shocked to know that not a single New York City congressperson sits on the transportation committee. Literally. What priorities do you have if you're not dealing with the biggest priority in New York City, which is transportation, and then affordable housing and housing of all kinds, right? Which also, by the way, is appropriated through the Transportation Committee, incidentally, for at least for NYCHA, which is not on the island. But I'm a proponent of affordable housing. I know Mitchell-Lamba houses leave the program, and that's a real concern. But it comes down to being an advocate, a fierce fighter, and to bring much-needed transportation dollars back to the city. We don't get federal funding for the MTA's operations budget at all. For years, New Yorkers have been paying for roads and bridges and highways to be constructed across this country. Every dollar we send to Washington, New York State gets 81 cents back. By comparison, Florida gets $4 back for every dollar that sends to Washington. And so we need to say, hey, there's a real transit crisis in this country, in many of our cities, including New York, and it is in the federal interest to make sure that our most dynamic economic regions move.
Now, you know, your opponent, Ms. Maloney, has a great deal of the power of incumbency. She's been there for 25 years. As a newly elected congressperson, you're relatively low standing in the hierarchy of Congress. Do you think you'll still be able to get things done?
Absolutely. I think we've learned, looking at politics and everything else. Hell, I have a better example. Seniority. I think we learned this shit, the only seniority that matters is being a high school senior. That those Parkland kids in Florida were able to do more for the cause of gun control in 25 days and 25 years of Congresses. The results speak for themselves. They have not really trickled down to us in New York when it comes to transit and affordable housing and those kinds of things. Homelessness is up to its highest rate since the Great Depression. So what have you done with the seniority is my question, and not enough is my answer. So let's try something new.
All right, great. Thank you.